This is something that all you guys have been talking about. This instinct to pull the short ball. Already it's been said today about that 6 of Jofra Archer is one of the quickest in the tournament. Here again is using the angle and the pace of the bowler. Such a comfortable shot.
Yeah, just beautiful. And the impressive thing is that Archer is, yes, he's quick, but Bumrah is so different, and you're always on that front foot, mindful of the full pitch ball, that you can be late on the short ball to Bumrah. He rushes most batsmen, but the ease with which he rocked back just goes to show his balance is exactly where it should be for a top order batsman. And look at that again, solidly behind it. Beautiful defense to finish off a good over by Bumrah. Sri Lanka 49 for 2.
Kusal Mendes. He's got a few starts. The only one who's got a big score, 100 in the Sri Lankan team. The man at the other end.
A little bit of outswing to Kusal Mendes. Another promising young player, has scored a lot of runs in Test cricket against some great sides. Struggled a little bit in this World Cup, but definitely one for the future. Sri Lanka will do well to invest in the likes of Kusal Mendes and Avishka Fernando.
Gone down the pitch a long way with that front foot commitment, trying to get far forward to cover the swing of Bhuvaneshwar Kumar.
And actually well played in there, well bowled. But I would just like to see him hold that back hip longer in a side-on position. It allows his hands to play the line rather than the ball. He was very, very good in controlling those hands. When that back hip comes through too soon, you push your hands at the ball, and that's when an edge can come through.
Good leave. This is something you've got to do in England. 50 overs cricket, white ball cricket. You've got to be a guy who can leave balls, play with a still bat. Virat Kohli's at short points, so they reckon they can get Kusal Mendes to play on the up. Interesting when you watch the last 4 innings for Kusal Mendes: 30, 46, 23, 39. He's got starts, he's got the big one.
He's a free-flowing batsman. Where he falls into trouble is his first 10 to 12 deliveries. He's got to be a bit more watchful. Almost test match in terms of approach. Once he gets through that, he's really attacking. He likes to take on the spinners. He's got touch and power. I think for a while he's just been caught out, trying to accelerate a little bit too quickly. Maybe a good delivery. Sometimes you're allowed to make a mistake. He's not out of form, he's in form. He just needs to learn how to get through those tough periods. Get to 35, 40. How do I get that to 50? Do I do it in singles? Do I attack a couple of bowlers I've targeted? But he's an exceptionally good player and a great quick run.
A good call. Didn't quite time it well, so he knew he had the time to take that single. So slightly delayed call, but the right one. Got the fielders in the right position. Slightly in the air on the leg side. 9 overs gone, 50 for 2.
मैच काफी इंटेंस हो गया है. बॉल्स हैं कम और रन ज्यादा. 5 balls and 9 runs needed. A few extras would help. Share more this cricket season with 15% extra.
जब जिंदगी इतनी रंगीन है तो क्यों ना रंग जमा के देखें. तभी पेल लाया ऑल न्यू कलर ऑन 4K स्मार्ट LED जो दिखाए विविडली ट्रू कलर्स और सुनाए बूम्बास्टिक साउंड. पेल कलर ऑन 4K स्मार्ट LED. Pel.
Attack very impressive in the last game against Bangladesh. Just found a way to be effective in his 10 overs on slow pitches. To be effective in his 10 overs on slow pitches. That short ball, that loopy kind of slow short ball has been a life savior for him.
Such a crucial player as well for India. Adds a whole new dimension to the Indian side. His all-round ability, power with the bat, but when he takes wickets with the ball, that's what India really need. It just lifts them up and makes their bowling lineup even more potent and allows the likes of Bumrah to be used in impactful ways in shorter spells, especially when India needs it throughout the whole phase of a game.
Looks like a superb talent, Avishka Fernando, but I think balls that are pitched up, we've already seen so far, balls that are pitched up can struggle a bit, just hitting through the line, front brace knee, but quickly, the next ball, you can see the same line, he's just sort of been more respectful of that delivery, not hitting through the line. And that's where India need to be, fuller to Avishka Fernando, but shows the young man is a quick learner. The very next, so after a couple of balls, he wasn't just blindly hitting through the line, more respectful, and a kind of a respected sort of measured push to the next one. In England, got to have a still bat when you're defending. That's one of the reasons why Rohit Sharma has been so consistent for India in the first 10 overs. That's what he's done. A very still bat while defending.
It's also interesting to know that just before the successful referral for Avishka Fernando, there were a few really good dot balls bowled at him. It kept his naturally attacking instinct in check. And I saw that he was getting slightly frustrated. And there's also a case where he saw the line of the ball and he's already premeditated, thinking, I'm just going to tag this. And he drives through the line of the ball. Smart enough to get that referral made. Goes for Sri Lanka. And then, like you rightly said, the next time the same ball is bowled, he has the presence of mind to understand it's time for solid defense rather than a loose push. And that frustration is something at this level that batsmen have to deal with. And you see that happen to Kusal Perera as well. Some good deliveries bowled at him. He gets stuck. And instead of looking to rotate the strike and be smart about it, it's been a case of where he striked for a bit too much. This is the century that Avishka Fernando got against the West Indies. And he had all his entire repertoire of strokes on display. Simple technique, minimal movement, maximum effect. Good against spin and pace, accelerates at the right time, great change of tempo throughout the innings and thoroughly deserved that century.
He really enjoys his time in the field. 52 for 2. always want to win the toss on pitches like this and bat first. Virat Kohli didn't have that opportunity. It was Sri Lanka won the toss and made the obvious decision of batting first. I think they have done well so far. They've got a couple of batsmen out. Having said that, that's the most they've conceded in the first 10 in this tournament. India. Ball just grips into the pitch. That's a good sign for Jadeja. If there's any turn in the pitch for a fast spinner, this is the man to exploit it.
I think such a crucial player in this World Cup, especially towards the back end on used pitches, Ravindra Jadeja. With the semi-final, maybe against England, I think he'll be a really crucial player at Edgbaston. He offers you more control, the pace at which he bowls. He can turn it up or turn it down as he sees fit. Will, I think, give Virat Kohli a little bit better control through those middle overs and also wicket-taking ability. I know Virat likes to go with the two wrist spinners, but I think this man particularly.
We just saw his numbers. Now, this is very interesting with Jadeja. When you look at the average, it's 35. It's a bit high when you compare it with Chahal and Kuldeep. You make a very good point. Come the business end. Pressure match, small ground. There! The ball turns and he gets the wicket. And it's a good one. Tailor-made surface for Jadeja.
Absolutely beautifully bowled. He was bowling a bit slow to start off it. Sees the batsman coming down the track and fired in. Grip and turn. Great work by MS Dhoni. But again, the batsman, he hasn't really seen what Jadeja can do. Kusal Mendes, he hasn't really faced enough of him on this pitch to know what the pitch does either. He's already made up his mind to use his feet. And with Jadeja, that's never easy. Kusal Mendes gone for 3. Sri Lanka with 3.
मैच काफी इंटेंस हो गया है. बॉल्स हैं कम और रन ज्यादा. 5 balls and 9 runs needed. A few extras would help. Share more this cricket season with 15% extra.
शुक्र है ऑलपर्स ने ये नया फुल क्रीम मिल्क पाउडर निकाला है. अम्मी, ये कुदरती दूध से बना है. इसमें है एक्स्ट्रा कैल्शियम, विटामिन A and B2 और प्रोटीन्स की गुडनेस. हर सुबह सिर्फ ऑलपर्स फुल क्रीम मिल्क.
Just as the World Cup has gone on, a few runs under the belt for Angelo Matthews, a good 80. He also bowled that magic delivery to Nicholas Puran, one of the highlights for me of this World Cup.
Yeah, I was chuckling today when I saw Angelo Matthews bowling in the warm-up. First ball of a spell after a couple of years in the wilderness as a bowler, and he picks up the most crucial wicket that allows Sri Lanka to win. And he's immediately inspired to keep on bowling. We're talking about Jadeja. What a crucial player, what an important player for India. And he talked about his average being high, but his economy rate of under 5 allows him to build pressure, allows Virat Kohli control, and sometimes when you build pressure with dot balls, you also get wickets.
Nice bowling, Jar.
You have a look at this ball again. It's a beautiful delivery, the speed as well, just right. Teasing the batsman, maybe premeditated as well. This is something that is very good at. He's very street smart cricketer. Saw the batsman advancing. Just make that point next over about Kuldeep, Chahal and Jadeja as spinners for India. 54 for 3. Kuldeep, Chahal and Jadeja as spinners for India. 54 for 3.
This summer मिलने वाला है क्रंची कुकीज और क्रीम का थ्रिलिंग मजा जो दुनिया बदल देगा. कुकी मेनिया से presenting more Cookie Mania now in freezers near you.
मैच काफी इंटेंस हो गया है. बॉल्स हैं कम और रन ज्यादा. 5 balls and 9 runs needed. A few extras would help. Share more this cricket season with 15% extra.
Watching Kusal Mendis at times. Now, a player coming in at this stage of the match, he has enough time to really see what the bowlers are doing, see how the pitch is behaving, assessing conditions. This is one of the most basic lessons you learn as a batsman or a bowler. Understand what the pitch is doing, what the bowlers are trying to do, and then adjust accordingly. Again, he really hasn't had enough of a look at Jadeja before he's already decided, I'm going to use my feet. And with Jadeja, that's one thing he excels at, keeping the batsman in the crease.
It's a used pitch, so that should be some kind of a sign that's going to turn. Even for teams bowling first, so Jadeja's first ball, and he's a quick bowler. So this is a pitch that's going to turn. Another look at that wicket. Yeah, so just making that point on the three spinning options that India have. Kuldeep Yadav, Chahal for the last 18 months have been the game changers in the middle for India. Come the business end, semis and finals, although he has been one with a higher average, both Kuldeep and Chahal get more wickets and have their average as a result under 30. India is assuming they're going to play England, and at best a small ground, the ball will turn for the spinners. They won't have the heart to play both wrist spinners, especially after the way England played those two wrist spinners in the last game. So I see Jadeja as a good compromise, an option. Can keep the runs down, the pitch is turning. He'll be a force. Just have to contend with people like Morgan and Stokes. So Virat Kohli has to bowl him at the right time as well. Even today, there are 4 left-hand batsmen in the Sri Lankan team in the top 7. So Virat Kohli will have to make use of Jadeja more when the right-handers are batting together.
Also considering the fact that both Bairstow and Roy have had shown historical weaknesses against left-arm spin. Even with that new ball, the ability for Jadeja to be used as an attacking option to break that opening partnership is crucial, because for a lot of the time, the England totals, the big totals, have been built on successful opening partnerships. And with Roy back, Bairstow has also changed his options. A slower ball bumper. And Avishka Fernando falls for the trap and guides it into MS Dhoni's hands. Pandya has been brilliant. His change of pace throughout, even through his first over, has been measured and tactical again. We spoke about it, Sanjay. The slow ball bumpers, the slow ball wide deliveries, the Yorkers, the change of pace. Beautiful bowling.
And look at the trajectory as well. The loopy trajectory is the key here. Not just the slow ball. Shami tried it against Bangladesh, but the trajectory wasn't loopy enough. It's got to sort of drop on the batsman a little bit. Hardik Pandya has been brilliant. He's had a great tournament with the ball as well, not just cameos. And he's got the wicket of Fernando, gone for 20. Sri Lanka struggling here a bit, 55 for 4.
मैच काफी इंटेंस हो गया है. Balls हैं कम और runs ज़्यादा. 5 balls and 9 runs needed. A few extras would help. Share more this cricket season with 15% extra.
This summer मिलने वाला है क्रंची कुकीज और क्रीम का थ्रिलिंग मजा जो दुनिया बदल देगा. कुकी मेनिया से. Presenting more Cookie Mania, now in freezers near you.
So important to finish on a good note. This reaffirms the belief in the team. Won a very good toss, but their batting hasn't been good so far. They won 3 out of 6 completed games. They lose this one, people might feel that they don't deserve to get into the final 4. So it's very important to finish on a winning note, just like Pakistan did. Lahiru Thirimana. Going to be a stock of left-handers that will come into bat. It's Sara Pereira as well.
It's good bowling just because of the complete lack of pace. If this was slightly quicker, any sort of bat on it would definitely take it over and above the wicketkeeper. But just the right pace for it to be so slow that even a healthy top edge just dips on its way to the keeper. Really well thought out. It had been a quicker bumper. I wish Fernando would have just ducked under it, or might have just pivoted and pulled it. But just that slowness makes you change your mind and try and think that you have a chance of catching up with the ball. Unfortunately, a dismissal.
Now that was short, but of the quicker type. 55 for 4.
As a batsman in one-day cricket, you always have to realize there's a lot more time than you really think. Sometimes you feel under pressure. You played a lot of dot balls. You think the scoreboard is not moving, and you tend to think, I've got to play some shots here, try and get it moving with some boundaries, rather than going back to your basics, rotating strike, and really spending some quality time out in the middle. That's the real key with building partnerships, to have the patience and the awareness to keep grinding it out, get through the tough periods, because once you do that, batting just becomes easier and easier.
Very attacking field now. There's a short extra cover, which is like a catching position. There's a slip as well. Angelo Matthews gets a single, left-hander on strike.
A lot of the time when Jadeja bowls, the team talk used to be, when we played against India during my time, it's easier to play him from within the crease, because he has the ability to really change his pace up and bowl so quick that you have enough pace to really work it from within the crease, work your singles, hit the boundaries if you like. Especially when it's turning, and if you're a right-hander, any small miscalculation in distance, he manages to grip and turn the ball past you.
He's getting turned, even against the angle. One of the hardest bowler to play. The sweep shot against, and to step out to.
And again, looking at England, that's what the openers try and do mostly. Try and exploit the field where the fielders aren't. And the crossbat slog sweep. That's a run out. Oh! It's a very close one. A full-length dive. The umpire pretty confident that the batsman has made it. No referral, no umpire's referral to the third umpire. MS Dhoni pretty quiet as well. He knows the batsman's well in. Desperate running by Thirimana. Yes, well in. Bowling round the wicket to the left-hander Jadeja, immediately looking for that LBW. Another over gone. Sri Lanka 58 for 4.
मैच काफी इंटेंस हो गया है. बॉल्स हैं कम और रन ज्यादा. 5 balls and 9 runs needed. A few extras would help. Share more this cricket season with 15%.
Presenting More Cookie Mania, now in freezers near you.
Hardik Pandya to continue, and in the combox a change. The great Harsha Bogle and Ian Bishop.
Thank you, Mr. President. He's bowling beautifully on these pitches, Hardik Pandya, where he's just taking the pace off. He's bowling the short bouncer, the slowish bouncer, not short, slow. He's adapted his bowling to these conditions quite beautifully. 4 fielders allowed outside now, though sometimes they tend to stay with, if they've got the rub of the green, tend to stay with 6 inside. There's just 3 outside at the moment. How high are they letting him get away with it? It's called it the one bouncer. India have gone in again with 5 bowlers. I wonder if that'll be the plan going ahead for the bigger game as well up in Edgbaston. Happy to back their 5 bowlers here. Surely Shami will come back into the side. And if indeed it is a similar surface up at Edgbaston where the ball grips a little bit, they might want to play Jadeja there too.
Coming over to you now.
Must confess, I was really looking forward to seeing Avishka Fernando bat. From what I'd seen on the highlights, a little bit on television, looked such a good player. In a sense, it was a freak dismissal though. Ball just kissing the glove as it went. The slowness of the bouncer getting him rather than the pace. He can go all the way up to 140. He's not tried it today.
Yeah, but it's been a good tournament, as you rightly said, for Avishka Fernando. The thing about Hardik Pandya is that he's used the short ball, the normal one with pace on, and then the cutter, the slower ball bumper, very, very well, cleverly. But we've seen a young man in Fernando who we hope that we'll see for many years to come, given the strength of his game.
Once again, the ball that's hit into the deck, but which sort of makes residence there. 61 for 4. Just saw the tail end of another punt babysitter poster. It's getting a bit of turn. There's a little bit in the surface. Jadeja suddenly becomes a very different cricketer. Brings a lot to the side. Varies his length. He's electric in the field. The question is, Delava is probably batted 7. just remember talking, followed Jadeja's career over the years. Remember talking to him as a young man when he was just starting to break into the national side. I said, do you see yourself as a bowler or a batsman? I love asking all-rounders that question. And he said, I'm a batsman. And I thought at that point, if Jadeja can become a number 6, then, or Hardik can become a number 6, will change the balance enormously. You saw yourself as a bowler, didn't you?
Started out as a batsman in school, Harsha. That's where it ended, at school.
Opening batsman, Bish?
And they used to call me Jeffrey Boycott. I was a strokeless wonder at school.
I would love Jeffrey to be remembered in this commentary box as a strokeless wonder. Well done. That's a good ball again. Just one run of the over. He's bowling beautifully. One for 6 of 3 overs for Jadeja and Pandya both. It's 62 for 4 after 15. Sri Lanka in some trouble as drinks come onto the ground.
मैच काफी इंटेंस हो गया है. बॉल्स हैं कम और रन ज्यादा. 5 balls and 9 runs needed. A few extras would help. Share more this cricket season with 15% extra.
हर सुबह ऑल पर्स क्रीम जगाए ग़िज़ाइयत की लाली. जगाए लाली. ऑल पर्स दे अपनी काउस को इतना प्यार कि फ्रेश मिल्क से बनी नई ऑल पर्स क्रीम जगाए ग़िज़ाइयत की लाली हर बार. ऑल पर्स की नई ऑल पर्स डेयरी क्रीम. ऑल पर्स, सुबह बखैर जिंदगी.
World Cup Kabaddi Malacca 2019 starts 21st July 2:40 PM onwards. Live on 10 Sports.
It's gone all the way out of the ground. Magnificent.
We welcome you to Monday Night Raw. Get ready, WWE Universe. You gotta be kidding me! We are just getting started here. This is what Monday Night Raw is all about. Welcome everyone to SmackDown Live.
This is the land of opportunity.
SmackDown Live is the place to be. Nobody does it better. We do it right here on SmackDown Live.
Final in 1996. Where we're headed now, that is our magic moment.
Beautifully played. That's 4. Take that. Oh, he's got that away too. That could go all the way. Just short, is it? Yes, one bounce.
And that's beautifully played through the covers for 4 runs, and what a way to bring up his 50.
Made 66 that day did Aravinda De Silva, but it was a sensational innings. They were 1 for 2 when he came into bat at one point. 66 of 47, he had 14 boundaries. In that period, 96 to 98, you'd struggle to find a better player than Aravinda De Silva. India, of course, 120 for 8, and Clive Lloyd, the match referee, awarded the game to Sri Lanka by default when there was crowd trouble at the Eden Gardens. Big game in the history of Sri Lankan cricket, but absolute master. Very, very good to watch, Aravinda. An all-time Sri Lanka team with Aravinda, Maila and Kumar Sangakkara would be fantastic. Right, more spin now here at Headingley. funny, Bish, when we were growing up and reading tales of cricket from England, we're always told Headingley, Old Trafford, these are seam bowlers' wickets. Everything's turning these days. Now, can Kuldeep get something? I read about Headingley being a seaming wicket, Old Trafford as being a quick wicket. Mahendra Singh Dhoni has been having an absolutely wonderful day today. He's had a hand in each of the 4 dismissals. There's a first of 2 for Jasprit Bumrah. Good ball, that was Kushal Pereira. Oh, he would have enjoyed this, Dhoni. Often say Dhoni's got the fastest hands in the East. And did well to go in front of him. It's a nice little combination that's developed now. Dhoni and Jadeja. Rich has just thrown us some interesting numbers. The best keeper-bowler combinations before this in one-day international cricket for India was Nayan Mongia and Venkatesh Prasad, 28 catches. Dhoni and Harbhajan, 25. Just 8 catches and 17 stumpings. Dhoni and Jadeja, 29, 10 catches, 19 stumpings. He's magnificent. Probably one of the best up to the wicket against spinners. This is his method of training before play. He's got his own style. Dhoni's stumping as quick as anything you will see on a cricket ground.
What that wicket shows us is that the ball is spinning. What this over is showing as well from Kuldeep is that there is some purchase. So it really comes down to how Sri Lanka can work themselves up to 260. We'll come back to that. 65 for 4. Jadeja to continue. And that's good batting, because I'm thinking it's a used pitch. So maybe we don't necessarily need to see the 3-10-11 that the West Indies scored the other day, where Afghanistan made a 280 chase. So it gives a lot of time for Matthews, who we know has a great record here at Headingley. Thirimana, who's batted most of his career at 3. Got a good 45, I think, against the West Indies at 6 the other day. Dhananjaya De Silva has Test match 100. And of course, Tisara Pereira. So it's a good time for these guys, not necessarily just to sit in, but to do that. Make Virat Kohli attack you with attacking fields. And it's not going to be that easy, because Bumrah, we know, can get people out. Jadeja at his pace can get people out, but there's so much comfort in knowing so much time to bat, to work your way to 250, 260.
There's a leg slip in there. Right. He's asking questions all the time, Jadeja. This is an excellent spell. 1 for 8. He's in his 4th over. Bowling around 90-91 kilometers an hour, but he can be much quicker than that too if required. Might have hit outside off. So he's caused trouble at the back foot, he's caused trouble at the front.
That's what I mean. Sitting in won't be easy because of the pace Jadeja bowls, the footmarks outside Thiruman's off stump. You could even think of having a short leg. It's about his ability to soak up pressure. Be confident with Matthews soaking up pressure.
And he goes through his overs very quickly. 3 from it, 68 for 4.
मैच काफी इंटेंस हो गया है. बॉल्स हैं कम और रन ज्यादा. 5 balls and 9 runs needed. A few extras would help. Share more this cricket season with 15% extra.
हर सुबह ऑल पर स्क्रीन जगाए गिजायत की लाली, जगाए लाली। ऑल पर्स दे अपनी काउस को इतना प्यार कि फ्रेश मिल्क से बनी नई ऑल पर्स क्रीम जगाए गिजायत की लाली हर बार। ऑल पर्स की नई ऑल पर्स डेयरी क्रीम। ऑल पर्स, सुबह बखैर जिंदगी।
By the wickets will MS Dhoni. There's many aspects to Dhoni's cricket. The most dramatic of them all is stumping. Oh, if he had got the ball just moved a little further ahead of him after he had stopped it. But Thiruman had decided there was a single. Matthews wasn't even entertaining the idea.
Thiruman was 2/3 of the way down the pitch. Matthews was actually ball watching. It really was Thiruman's call. Matthews was busy watching the path of the ball and the fielder. Let's have a look at that again. Goes in front, so Thiruman's call. Look at Matthews. He had turned around to watch the fielder. Luckily, the fielder was Rishabh Pant, who is a specialist wicketkeeper.
Was that a statement on his fielding skills, Bish?
But I shouldn't blanket it like that, because you've got someone like Johnny Bairstow who's excellent in the field. We saw Nicholas Pooran fielding very well for the West Indies, so I really shouldn't say that. Because he's a wicketkeeper. Should qualify it.
Tell you what, I think he tried to grab the ball as soon as he had stopped it, and he just missed it. Went a little further. But if he had got hold of it straight away, I think there was a run out in the scorebook. Now there, he gets it. Then he makes that attempt. The ball is not there. Should get a couple of runs.
Tell you what, Harsha, as well, I've been watching Jasprit Bumrah for the last few matches and amazed at how much his fielding has improved from recent years. So whoever the fielding coach is doing an excellent job, and no doubt if Rishabh Pant continues to play as a batsman, his fielding will also improve. But Jasprit Bumrah's fielding, he almost had a run-out chance this morning, was brilliant.
मैच काफी इंटेंस हो गया है. बॉल्स हैं कम और रन ज्यादा. 5 balls and 9 runs needed. A few extras would help. Share more this cricket season with 15% extra.
No.
Well, without taking any chances, they pick up 6 runs, 74 for 4 after 18.
And they've got to be smart. Matthews and Thiruman in particular have got to be smart that there's no need to rush. It's only 18 overs gone. Someone like Jadeja, who's bowling as quickly as he does, maybe you need to be a little more circumspect. And problems for KL Rahul with his back issue ongoing.
Just a little stiffness in the back, maybe. Patrick Farad using the opportunity. The good thing about the Sri Lankan batting lineup, or if you want to look for it, is there's a lot of top order batsmen littered all through the batting order. Thirimanne is a natural top order batsman. Dhananjaya De Silva next has got 100 at number 3. And really started off as a batsman. It's his bowling that's caught the eye more at this World Cup, but started off being a proper batsman. Tisara Pereira's it's a floater, he's batted everywhere. There's a lot of top order batting. They think differently in situations like these. When you've got lots of overs left, that'll be an advantage.
Yeah, well, you can see why that they need to be patient because of Jadeja's pace and hitting a length. So they've got to really form a significant partnership, let's say until over number 30, 35 at least, or try. The ball is spinning at pace. Runs off the edge at pace.
Well, it was a bit of a chase for Kuldeep Yadav. Talking Sri Lankan batting, we're going to be joined by one of the genuine legends of Sri Lankan batting shortly, Mahela Jayawardene. I talked about Aravinda De Silva. I think Jayawardene was very lucky in that phase to be playing his formative years while Aravinda was batting the way he was. And you could see the moment you saw Mahela bat that there was a successor. Aravinda might have hit the ball a little more brutally, Mahela a little more touch. 77 for 4 from 19.
मैच काफी इंटेंस हो गया है. बॉल्स हैं कम और रन ज्यादा. 5 balls and 9 runs needed. A few extras would help. Share more this cricket season with 15% extra.
एक मैच देखने के लिए इतनी दूर.
हर वर्ल्ड कप साथ देखो. गुस्सा जल्दी आ जाता है. बुढ़ा हो गया ना.
बुढ़ा तू.
बॉयज, आपकी सेंचुरी पक्की है.
ओह, 6.
ऊपर रिक्वेस्ट करो, स्कोर बनाओ और इंग्लैंड जाओ.
We are just talking to one or two people. We talked to Malinga the other day and talked to one or two other coaches as well, and just Jasprit Bumrah this morning, and he was explaining to me why he thinks Yorkers have come so naturally to him. He talked about playing softball, tennis ball cricket growing up, and a lot of people may have heard this story, but he felt with the tennis ball from a young age, bowling it on a length was not something that bore benefits to him. He had to get it right up there. So from a very young age, I suspect with Malinga as well, tennis ball cricket, a big part of their upbringing, getting the tennis ball full created muscle memory that was just instinctively followed in hard ball cricket as they grew up, which is fascinating.
We all played a lot of tennis ball cricket. When it bounced, it took so much away of the ball that it was easy to hit it. They play a lot of tennis ball cricket in Pakistan as well. One of the dangers of playing tennis ball cricket, though, is because you've got to be really powerful to deliver the ball full. There's a tendency to bend your elbow and almost chuck the ball coming hard. But otherwise, tennis ball cricket, you have to be full. Matthews 15 of 31. This partnership is 24 of 49, but they need the partnership. Good shot. He's put that in the gap well. Slightly slower off the deck is Kuldeep Yadav, so he's got the time as Matthews.
Absolutely, Harsha, and that's why I mentioned Jadeja more, because of the pace that he bowls. You can wait. You could almost sit in a little more comfortably against Kuldeep on a slow pitch, because he's slower through the end, wait for that bad ball. But if you start looking to take risks against him, you bring danger.
Another good over. for Sri Lanka. 6 off it. They're still in trouble though. 83 for 4 after 20.
Yeah, it's just what goes on upstairs. Teremana and Matthews, do they feel they have the patience that this pressure period they can prolong it or soak it up at least for another 5 overs, 8 overs?
Maybe even 10, Bish. If they go at 4.5 an over for 10 overs. Let's take this thought from Bish further. It's 4.15 an over at this stage. Sri Lanka can aim to get between 40 and 45 of the next 10 overs, 45 ideally, without losing a wicket. Then they're set to try and get to 240, 250, which, as they themselves realize against England batting first, is a score that you can try and win a game from. Yes, 31 for 2. It can only be India's session. That one was a very good one for India. 52. Sri Lanka always go off quickly. Still, India picked up 2 wickets. So India headed.
I know a lot of teams may want to get something excessive because of the excellence of India's batsmen and the way Kohli and Sharma chase. That period of 10 overs between overs 11 to 20, the wickets that went down, Hussain Mendis and Fernando. I think we've seen enough in the surface where there was Kusal Pereira tried to pull it, came off the toe. Karunaratne toe-edged one to the keeper, and Fernando tried to hit one down the ground off the toe. It's not an easy pitch to score often.
Kohli, the fielder there, they weren't going to challenge his arm for a single. Jadeja about to finish another over. Nobody goes through overs quicker than Ravindra Jadeja does. Four came off it, is now conceded just 16 from 6. Sri Lanka 87 for 4 from 21.
मैच काफी इंटेंस हो गया है. बॉल्स हैं कम और रन ज्यादा. 5 balls and 9 runs needed. A few extras would help. Share more this cricket season with 15% extra.
एक मैच देखने के लिए इतनी दूर.
और वर्ल्ड कप साथ गुस्सा जल्दी आ जाता है. बुढ़ा हो गया ना.
बुढ़ा तू.
बॉयज, आपकी सेंचुरी पक्की है.
6.
ऊपर रिक्वेस्ट करो, स्कोर बनाओ और इंग्लैंड जाओ.
Face painting, a lot of smiles from the Indian fans. They'll be pleased with what they're seeing at the moment. 87 for 4 from 21. Two spinners on, and India rather, going through the overs quickly here. Always get that with Jadeja one end. He rushes through the overs, and suddenly the run rate is dropping, and you're thinking, right, we're running out of time. But Sri Lanka have got to get a score. Got 232 against England at this venue on a similar pitch. They've got to try and get up around about that against India. A special guest with me up here. We're supposed to be working with Kumar. Gone one better than Kumar Sangakkara. Mahela Jayawardene. Morning, Mahela. What do you make of the start from Sri Lanka?
Morning, Nazar. Not a great start once again. It's just like the beginning of the tournament. Few early wickets, haven't been able to capitalize on that first 10 overs.
It's an okay pitch, isn't it? I mean, it's used, but it's nothing that Sri Lanka won't be used to.
It's quite similar. I think the decision to bat first was the right decision, putting runs on the board, and they were successful against England as well, but was quite surprised they've taken the spinner out of the equation, so I don't know how they're going to manage that second half of the innings.
Big slog sweep. There's always an area now you can target against the spinner, and on this occasion it's deep mid-wicket.
Thirimana has been threatening to hit that shot a few times against Kuldeep. Managed to get hold of that.
Excellent cricket. Take the attacking option and then knock it and run. 93 for 4. What have you made of Sri Lanka in the tournament in general? The odd good performance, like here against England, but not enough for you?
Yeah, especially beginning of the tournament, I think they looked a little bit tentative, especially the middle order lineup. They didn't have a great start to the tournament as well as the 2 wash-off games, so then that probably didn't give them that momentum that they required. And then after that they had a couple of good games, but not enough.
And the one bright spark who didn't start the tournament, Avishka Fernando. What have you made of him?
It was brilliant. I was quite surprised because in Scotland he scored runs, and I thought he's a certain starter, given that Sri Lanka needed some X factor in their lineup. But obviously they went with experience. And they had to change the batting order, so that's something that I'm not very comfortable with, especially in a World Cup. Guys need to understand their roles. Thirimana batting at 3, now he goes back to 6. Kusal batting at 3 and then getting to open the batting. So
yeah, it's been a lot of shuffling. Sign of an unsettled side, sign that you don't really have full confidence in the batting lineup. There's been a lot of shuffling around. And Jaya De Silva has batted every position from 1 till 9 in the last year or so. Matthews played a nice knock against England here as well, so his experience is going to be vital.
I think throughout the tournament, he's been the go-to player for Sri Lanka, but he also hasn't had a great World Cup. He's been put under pressure purely because Sri Lanka's been losing early wickets. But I think I'm a firm believer he has to play his natural game. That's the only way that he could actually contribute in a positive manner.
Good running. Took and run on the offside. Rishabh Pant is off the field. Impressive this from Jadeja. Sort of pitch he enjoys, a used pitch into nearly the end of his 7th over, 1 for 19. Yet to go for a boundary in 7 overs, 1 for 19, 96 for 4.
मैच काफी इंटेंस हो गया है. बॉल्स हैं कम और रन ज्यादा. 5 balls and 9 runs needed. A few extras would help. Share more this cricket season with 15% extra.
एक मैच देखने के लिए इतनी दूर.
हर वर्ल्ड कप साथ देखो. गुस्सा जल्दी आ जाता है. बुढ़ा हो गया ना.
बुढ़ा तू.
बॉयज, आपकी सेंचुरी पक्की है.
6.
ऊपर रिक्वेस्ट करो, स्कोर बनाओ और इंग्लैंड जाओ.
Noon. Early morning rain and now some sunshine this afternoon. Did you catch up with some of your Mumbai Indian friends out there this morning? A successful head coach?
A brief chat, a very brief chat. Now obviously Rohit was out there in the middle hitting some balls, so just a wave of the hands. But yeah, Hardik came and gave me a big hug. He seems to be in good space. Obviously Lassit has spent a lot of time with those boys. He's been there for ages.
You don't know which way to turn, would you? All those Sri Lankans on one side, all those Mumbai Indians on the other. You would have been a very popular man out there. What have you made of Malinga? It could be his last World Cup match. Great servant for the country.
I think he has decided it's going to be his last World Cup, but not sure whether he might have a farewell game back home, but definitely he's been a great servant for Sri Lankan cricket. Brilliant character, brilliant guy in the dressing room to have. Good thinking cricketer, but he's created this man obviously in his days in Mumbai.
Half stop, will rush through for a single.
They seems to gel together, all these fast bowlers, you know, the language that they speak, tricks that they have when they can use.
Should easily come back for two. That's the longer boundary towards the western terrace. 100 up for Sri Lanka, 100 for 4. Virtually a sellout here at Headingley. A lot of India fans in. 100 up for Sri Lanka. Looking at Mumbai. 2011, these two sides met in that World Cup final, that famous World Cup final. Remembered for MS Dhoni hitting the last ball for 6. Mahela Jayawardene smashed 100 in 80 deliveries. Fielding, I think that's Kohli. What do you remember of that day, Mahela, apart from the loss?
It was a very good day until the second half started. We had 2 early wickets as well, but I have the distinguished and for having a scored a World Cup 100 and on a losing team, so still have that tag till someone takes it over me. Yeah, it was a great final. I think play in Mumbai, the atmosphere at Wankhede Stadium was about, they said 60,000, but it felt like 100,000 chanting Sachin, Sachin, Sachin. But we managed to control things for at least half the day.
102 for 4.
मैच काफी इंटेंस हो गया है. बॉल्स हैं कम और रन ज्यादा. 5 balls and 9 runs needed. A few extras would help. Share more this cricket season with 15% extra.
एक मैच देखने के लिए इतनी दूर.
हर वर्ल्ड कप साथ देखो. गुस्सा जल्दी आ जाता है. बुढ़ा हो गया ना.
बुढ़ा तू.
बॉयज, आपकी सेंचुरी पक्की है.
6.
ऊपर रिक्वेस्ट करो, स्कोर बनाओ और इंग्लैंड जाओ.
Not easy when you lose greats like Sangakkara and Jayawardene, but they've had to rebuild, and they're trying to rebuild this innings as well. Shows how hard it's been. This is now Sri Lanka's lowest total at the halfway mark in any game in the tournament.
I mean, they've been good, having good starts, especially with Kusal Perera and then with Karnaratne. Obviously, the wicket playing a bit slow. You're looking at 280 being a good score on this, but Sri Lanka will do well to get to 250. I think it's a good par score, a challenging score, but a lot of work to be done. I think the key player is Angelo Matthews. He has to bat through, take the game deep. He's quite used to doing this.
Nearly got past that outside edge. Yeah, Matthews played really well against England. Sort of innings that if Sri Lanka had lost, everyone would have said, well, what was Matthews doing? Used up too much time. 85 he got, Angelo Matthews, but when they won, it looked an absolute gem of an innings. He's going to have to do exactly the same here, just time it perfectly.
Well, the important thing is to try and find what's that power score where you can challenge this Indian batting lineup. I mean, 230, 240 would be a minimum. If they can get 20 runs extra, it would be a bonus, but it's important that he bats through.
Continue to milk and just take the runs on offer with the odd boundary. It's excellent placement and timing. 109 for 4. .54 now, this partnership. Sign that there might be a bit more pace coming on. The helmet's on, moving away from 2 spinners.
Obviously, India needs to change the momentum a bit. A good partnership building. Going to their pace trio, one of the pace trios. Hardik Pandya has been pretty good picking up wickets in this tournament. Easy boundary for Angelo Matthews.
Given just a bit of a loosener bouncer. Some bowlers use it to loosen up. That's what Pandya did there.
Two experienced players in Lahiru Thirimana and Angelo Matthews rebuilding the Sri Lankan innings. A lot more work to do.
In the air, in the gap though.
The slow ball bounce has been very effective, especially in the back end of this tournament. A lot of the bowlers are using that, especially on long boundaries. So we saw Avishka Fernando getting out earlier in the innings.
Yeah, Pandya often uses the bouncer, either the quicker or short one, especially depending on the dimensions of the ground. There's another short ball. Tell us about Hardik Pandya. You've worked with him. What sort of guy is he? What sort of cricketer is he in your eye?
I think he's a proper street fighter for me. That's how I describe him. I mean, he came from a very humble background, so he had to work his way really hard to get to where he is. Very disciplined guy off the field in the sense that he wants to improve every day. And he wants to keep things simple. I think, you know, especially in T20 cricket, you want that freedom to back yourself, to hit the ball when he's batting and with the ball as well, to do things. I think he's brought that into ODI cricket as well as Test cricket. He's been very successful doing that.
How good a batter could he become? I mean, India are looking for a number 4 in white ball cricket. Is that one too high for him at the moment? Or do you see him that good that he could end up at 4?
Well, I think right now in his game, the way it is set up, I think, 5, 6 is a good option. 4 may be a bit too high right now because you want to give him that freedom to play his natural game.
Nicely timed. Sweeper should cut it off. Does with a one-handed pickup. This is good from these two. Low risk cricket, but still taking a lot of runs that are on offer. 116 for 4.
मैच काफी इंटेंस हो गया है. बॉल्स हैं कम और रन ज्यादा. 5 balls and 9 runs needed. A few extras would help. Share more this cricket season with 15% extra.
एक मैच देखने के लिए इतनी दूर.
हर वर्ल्ड कप साथ गुस्सा जल्दी आ जाता है. बुढ़ा हो गया ना.
बुढ़ा तू.
बॉयज, आपकी सेंचुरी पक्की है.
6.
ऊपर रिक्वेस्ट करो, स्कोर बनाओ और इंग्लैंड जाओ.
And India understands that they need a breakthrough. They're going to go for their main attacking bowler in this tournament, Jasprit Bumrah.
Oh, Virat Kohli's been very kind to us. Mumbai Indian coach up here. He's just bringing his Mumbai Indians on one after the other. I've asked you about Pandya. What about Jasprit Bumrah? Obviously an exceptional talent with the ball. 2 wickets already. What's he like as a human being, as a person?
He's a very quiet person, to be honest. Very intellectual. He's a bit of a professor in the dressing room.
A bowler with the brain.
Very rare breed, Nas. Very rare breed.
He does strike me as a very clever lad, Jasprit Bumrah, with a good sense of humour. Seems to enjoy his cricket. Well, he's been brought back into the attack to break this partnership. That's why Kohli has given him a slip.
I think with Jasprit, the important thing is basics. You just keep it simple, especially with the new ball. He wants the batsman to be playing the ball all the time. You saw in the competition, he's always challenging the batsman. Not so much about bounces and various other things. It's about keeping him guessing. At the back end, that's where he's very crucial with all the variations and slow balls.
As a coach, when you have someone like Bumrah and his unusual run-up and style, he has had no-ball issues in the past. It doesn't seem like he's bowling as many no-balls now. Would you in any way get involved in that, or would you just leave him be until he does start bowling no-balls?
I think the character in him, he wants to be a perfectionist, so obviously if there's an issue, he'll rectify. You don't actually have to get involved unless you see something major issues with that. He understands that because the talent that he has, he cannot be bowling no balls. He's always in that option of taking a wicket and he might miss out on it. So he's very conscious about it.
Just one no ball in the tournament for Jasprit Bumrah, and for a lad who has had a history, albeit quite a while ago, of bowling no balls, and some infamous ones as well. It's good to see that even with this stuttering, spluttering run-up, he's got his foot behind the line.
It is a very unusual run-up, but well in control. Sure, Ian Bishop will be very proud of that brace front leg, generating all the pace. When the Indian team is experimenting a little bit, leaving out Chahal in this game, we're still not sure what their final 11 for that semi-final is going to be.
No, that should be a dead ball, yeah. Quite early, Matthews, just someone moving behind the bowler's arm, or he wasn't ready.
Not Nigel Long.
You'd hope it was someone else.
Angelo Matthews probably picked the right ball to move out as well. It was the short one in that channel.
Outside the off stump, and nothing shot really. Maybe his concentration had gone there. 118 for 4. An atmosphere. There's a few Sri Lankans in, but mainly 70-80% Indian fans, and they're letting you know they're here. How's the tournament gone down in Sri Lanka? Are they very disappointed in what they've seen, or they're fairly realistic about a new era of Sri Lankan cricket?
I think they were realistic, especially build up to the World Cup, the 2 years leading up, knew the expectations cannot, but Sri Lankan teams have that way of turning up for World Cups and creating opportunities, and spark against England obviously lifted the spirits.
Glad we could do you a favour. England always gives someone a chance every now and then in the tournament.
20 years they haven't beaten Sri Lanka.
Okay, thanks for reminding us. Just going back to that World Cup final, everyone had you down as a stroker and a touch player, but the stats from that day, 103 in 88 deliveries. A little man with pure class and timing, didn't play a shot in anger, but managed to get a better ball run, 188 deliveries.
To be honest, that wicket was a truly brilliant wicket to bat on. Came on nicely. We lost wickets as well, so we slowed down for a while and then pick up the pace. Knew the Indian batting lineup was very strong and proved to be.
summary of that game. There was a bit of indecision at the toss, if I remember. Ravi Shastri was doing the toss, had to be done twice. Eventually, Lanka had a bat, got 274 for 6, which was an okay score back then. Not enough for the mighty Indian batting lineup.
Yeah, I think India wanted to bat first on that day as well, being a World Cup final. Unexpected dew in the evening as well. Took our spinners out of the equation completely. So, something that no one planned. Obviously, we were practicing the previous 2 days. There was no dew as well. So, can't take anything away from that Indian lineup. They look very strong, and we knew we had to keep picking up wickets, which we couldn't.
And then right at the end, MS Dhoni said to the coach, I want to bat at 4. And in at 4 and clubbed it over mid-on for 6. Having a good day today as well. MS Dhoni has been involved in all 4 dismissals. Him and Ravindra Jadeja, best keeper bowling combination for India now, going past Mongia and Prasad and Dhoni and Harbhajan.
I mean, a much needed one. Just starting to get a bit hot here up in Headingley. It started off very nice, cool and windy with overcast conditions, but as the day progresses and the summer gets in, we've had some great moments in World Cup cricket. The last time in 1983, India winning the World Cup, and we've got some magic moments from that game against the West Indies.
And that's out. Yes, it's all over this time. Lost his nerve in the end in Michael Holding. The margin of the victory, 43 runs. Here's a man who's been largely responsible for it over the last
2 weeks. The final at Lord's, what a day for Indian cricket. It was really a magic moment for Indian cricket. It's turned the popularity of the game around in that part of the world. 183 all out, and who would think, Ian Bishop, that India would defend it against the mighty West Indians? Wins by 43 runs, and the game just erupts in that part of the world.
Yeah, I don't remember it at all, to be honest. Only joking. It's a bad memory for me as a kid.
You can't win all the time. 75 West Indies, 79 West Indies. You got to give others a chance as well. How old were you then? Can't be thinking so long.
I was 15 or 16 years old.
Ian Bishop took 4 seconds to think. 1983, how old he was. 15 or 16. It's a lovely day. At last the summer has arrived. A lot of rain at the early part of the tournament. It wasn't easy. Matches were getting washed off. Teams were really finding it difficult to cope to those conditions of points being shared because of washed out games, and how good it has been for the last 1 week. Punches down to mid-off. It hasn't been a great day for Kuldeep. Has been very, very slow in the air, just 72 kilometers. It has allowed the Indian batsman to get enough time, use the crease. He's in his 7th over, none for 33. Yeah, misfield, very rare from India. Gets the single, moves on to 40, Thirumani. Been a very lucky ground for Angelo Matthews here. Lucky ground for Sri Lanka. He scored 182 runs in this venue without getting dismissed even once. And I say that in ODI cricket, in the shorter format of the game. It's been a happy ground for Sri Lanka. They beat England in a test match a couple of years ago here at Leeds. Getting back into the series after losing the first test match. Beat England the other day here in the World Cup game, and they played well. Very good shot. I will come back for the second. .149 for 4. None for 42 for Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, and the change of ends for him. Sri Lanka just starting off well, losing their way in the middle, losing a few wickets, and then this recovery. Still 16 overs left for Sri Lanka, 96 deliveries. Yeah, that's a lot of deliveries at this stage of the game, and they would be wanting one of these two to bat till the end. Anything over 270 will be a good total on this surface, good total to defend. We said at the start of the game it was a used surface. There are a lot of dry patches. This time over mid-off. They've been very hard on Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, and moment Virat Kohli brings him back into the attack, Angelo Matthews goes over the top. That's very good batting, very good thinking. He knows it's not been a good day for Bhuvi, and they're making the most of it.
It's a danger of a predominantly five-man bowling attack that India have gone in with. It. You really need your guys to fire generally. Bhuvi hasn't done that so far today, unless Virat wants to bowl a couple.
Virat will definitely not bowl a couple. He will look to finish Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. India still trying to get their best bowling combination on the park. Mohammad Shami rested for this game. There is no Yajuvendra Chahal, who's been an important part of this Indian bowling unit. Played all the games before this. Jadeja coming into this game. Kuldeep getting another opportunity. So India still trying to get their best combination.
You sense though with Lahiru Tiramana that he's edgy now. He wants to play more aggressively, and while that may be a good thing for Sri Lanka, it also gives Bhuvi a chance, gives India a chance that he might commit the error they need.
Punches down to mid-wicket. That's the long part of the ground, but he cannot stop that. The deep square leg fielder. It's a quick outfield. With the sun coming down heavily, it's just got quicker. And it brings the 100 partnership between the two. And a very good one.
Excellent indeed. It's only the second 100 partnership for Sri Lanka in this World Cup. Previous one came from the opening batsman, captain and Kusal Perera against Australia.
Not a great delivery. So a good over for Sri Lanka in the context of the game. 10 from it, 159 for 4.
मैच काफी इंटेंस हो गया है. बॉल्स हैं कम और रन ज्यादा. 5 balls and 9 runs needed. A few extras would help. Share more this cricket season with 15% extra.
एक मैच देखने के लिए इतनी दूर.
हर वर्ल्ड कप साथ देखने. गुस्सा जल्दी आ जाता है. बुढ़ा हो गया ना.
बुढ़ा तू.
बॉयज आपकी सेंचुरी पक्की है.
ओह 6.
ऊपर रिक्वेस्ट करो, स्कोर बनाओ और इंग्लैंड जाओ.
Right, partnerships now 104. Now they've got wickets as well. They've got a couple of batsmen to come. They'll start to eye higher numbers here with Sri Lanka. So they need to pull it back with wickets. Fine, well played. Really finding the gap for 4, so the boundaries have started to come. On a fairly consistent basis for Sri Lanka. 50 comes up for Lairu Thirimanne. And not bad time actually, as it turns out now. 63 balls, given it was 55 for 4 when he came into bat.
Yeah, two experienced guys have stood up nicely here in their hour of need. Sri Lanka, they were struggling. This partnership above 100 now, 2 half centuries. Make sure they keep going. Won't be easy to start on a pitch like this for the new batter. Take it as long and as deep as possible.
These two bowling at the moment, Bhuvneshwar and Kuldeep, traditionally have been two of India's best in wide ball cricket, but today probably the weaker link. Not quite enjoyed themselves. Bhuvneshwar 7 overs for 52. Kuldeep now none for 42 in his 8th. They haven't got wickets. Strike rate of 80. He's a good player, Lairu Thirimanne. He's just been up and down and in and out of Sri Lankan cricket. And will clear the infield. That was important if you're playing that shot. So Angelo Matthews now starting to get inventive.
Yeah, it's amazing how a certain ground will do things for you. He loves this ground, Angelo Matthews. 160 here in a test match against England, a famous test match where Sri Lanka beat England with 2 balls to go, with Jimmy Anderson getting out. 88 against England in the World Cup, and now 61 unbeaten against India. If you like a venue, cash in on that venue.
We'll take the run. I wonder if there's a wide call coming too. Or was it leg by? Leg by. He's never been out at this ground in limited overs cricket.
It's amazing. If you can just, and he was struggling. He was struggling for form. He'd got 2 noughts when he came here. Really struggling in the tournament. Just the place that he needed to see, Angelo Matthews. Leeds and Headingley.
10 off that Kuldeep Yadav over. It's 169 for 4. That is such a good sight. Needing protection against the sun. Never thought I'd say that when I came in this morning. It was cold. Right, Ravindra Jadeja comes on again. 8 overs, 1 for 21. He was excellent today. Interesting to see how he goes in his second spell. Sometimes you have a wonderful rhythm going, and then suddenly your captain takes you off because he wants to keep 2 overs for later. It's not the same thing when you come back. Got 11 balls. Jadeja to pick up a wicket. Right, there's a fielder there. Fielder there. Drops it. Bhuvneshwar Kumar got there. And surely it should have been completed once he got there.
Well, he's having a bad day, Bhuvneshwar Kumar. They've targeted him when he's bowled. And Now he's dropped one at long on. Exactly, Kohli goes to his man Jadeja. Break this partnership. And if Bhuvaneshwar Kumar had caught it, it would have been broken. Jadeja can't believe it. Jadeja wishes he was fielding out there. He'd have swallowed that up.
It was the kind of catch where once you got there, you had to catch it. You did well to get there.
Jadeja took a very similar one as fielding sub against England. I think it was Jason Roy at Edgbaston going the other way, in the other direction. Both going towards their better hand. Left hand Jadeja, right hand Bhuvaneshwar Kumar should have been taken.
Kind of catch which if you take, it's a nice catch. You won't say wow catch of the tournament. It's a nice catch. Now he gets hold of that well, so he's taking on Jadeja as well. Matthews is there once again for Sri Lanka. He's on 69. It's 177 for 4 now.
मैच काफी इंटेंस हो गया है. बॉल्स हैं कम और रन ज्यादा. 5 balls and 9 runs needed. A few extras would help. Share more this cricket season with 15% extra.
No. वर्ल्ड कप का फाइनल और हमारी शादी एक दिन नहीं हो सकती. प्लीज.
Okay. I'll call Papa.
क्या पार्टनरशिप है.
6 runs.
ऊपर रिक्वेस्ट करो, स्कोर बनाओ और इंग्लैंड जाओ.
It's now the highest partnership this World Cup for Sri Lanka. Kuldeep Yadav, he's got 2 overs. India only playing 5 bowlers today, so like they did in the previous game, which Kohli admitted was taking a bit of a chance. I'm not sure India will go into a semi-final. Whether it's New Zealand, whether it's England, going with just 5 bowling options. Hit it beautifully. What's your thought on Angelo Matthews? He likes batting at 5, obviously, and he's quite the perfect repair man. But some might say if he batted up the order, he would need to repair the innings.
Yeah, it's a good point. Try and get in before the crisis. He seems to keep coming in a crisis, but it's nice to have that experience down there. What Sri Lanka would really like is some of their young guns who have been around a while to actually grab those first 4 spots and get a score. Well capable of batting in the top 4, number 4. Same could be said of India. Some of the senior players don't move up too much. They could move some of their players up the order.
You're referring to Dhoni at 4?
Not so much just Dhoni, but Dhoni's become so good down the order that they don't move him. So Angelo Matthews become good in this role at 5, so they don't move him. What suits the team and what suits the individual. It's a fine balancing act.
India will be a touch disappointed with their fielding today. There have been 2 simple catches gone down, both in the air for a long time. Bhuvaneshwar might look back and say, could this have changed my day? And then himself at long on, for a side that prides itself on its fitness. Its agility in the field. This one should be taken, and it is. Bowled it from slightly further back. I think you'll see that he's used the crease really well here, has Kuldeep Yadav, and a wicket at last for India. It's a good partnership for Sri Lanka.
Yeah, and the other thing you always get with the wrist spinner is a little bit of dip. Just a bit of dip and a bit further back in the release point as well. And he thought he had got to it, but it just dips on him there, and he's nowhere near the pitch of the ball. And Jadeja's saying that's how you do it. We're dropping catches, hit it to me in the air, I'll catch him. Kiramani played nicely for his 53, 179 for 5.
मैच काफी इंटेंस हो गया है. बॉल्स हैं कम और रन ज्यादा. 5 balls and 9 runs needed. A few extras would help. Share more this cricket season with 15% extra.
No. वर्ल्ड कप का फाइनल और हमारी शादी एक दिन नहीं हो सकती. प्लीज.
Okay. I'll call Papa.
क्या पार्टनरशिप है
6 runs
ऊपर रिक्वेस्ट करो स्कोर बनाओ और इंग्लैंड जाओ
New batsman in is Dhananjay De Silva. Really a batsman who bowls a bit of off spin, but it's his off spin that's done better for him at this World Cup. He's a fine player, Dhananjay De Silva. He'll get runs, not quite at the middle of the bat, but he'll pick up a couple, maybe more actually. He'll get 3 to get off the mark. 5 runs of the over plus a wicket. It's 182 for 5. Nice warm day now here in Leeds. Ravindra Jadeja with his last over. Dhananjay De Silva, saw him score a really good test match 100 in Delhi. Not easy conditions, he's a batsman. Sri Lanka have used his off-spin, is considered part-time off-spin, but is getting better. Uses off-spin well in this tournament. But he's only got 10-12 overs to make an impact with the bat.
Yeah, noticeable the dip in the wicket from Kuldeep. Watch the way the ball just dips on him and he doesn't get to the pitch of the ball. That's what you get with wrist spin that tosses it up. All eyes on Angelo Matthews now. He was looking to get after Jadeja, but now he might have to sit in. Quick hands, fast hands from Dhoni. I think Matthews is okay.
Doesn't matter that Dhoni's stumping's a work of art anyway. His hands are so close to the stumps. Very unlike any other keeper.
Thank you, that's your delivery. Can we move on to your best side on, please? Keep rolling, keep rolling. Thank you. Can we have a look at the stump cam just to confirm the foot's down? Thank you. Yeah, can we go to the other side, please? Thank you. Keep rolling, keep rolling. Thank you. I'm ready to make my decision for the big screen.
Not out, but not by as much as we thought early on. With Dhoni, there's just such little time. Because he takes the stumps, he bails off so quickly. It's always worth going up to take a look. Now once again there's a fielder coming underneath. Once again it's close to the boundary. Once again it clears it.
Well, he was worried here, Angelo Matthews. It was a leading edge. He was trying to hit more towards mid-wicket. And for a second he thought, what have I done? 2 wickets, one from Kuldeep, one from Jadeja. It wasn't. Jadeja can't believe a leading edge has gone for 6.
And he puts that in the gap. These last 2 overs haven't quite been as productive for Ravindra Jadeja. He's 8 overs for 21. He's finished 10 overs, 1 for 40. It's 193 for 5.
एक मैच देखने के लिए इतनी दूर।
हर वर्ल्ड कप साथ गुस्सा जल्दी आ जाता है। बुढ़ा हो गया ना।
बुढ़ा तू।
बॉयज, आपकी सेंचुरी पक्की है। ऊपर रिक्वेस्ट करो, स्कोर बनाओ और इंग्लैंड जाओ।
मैच काफी इंटेंस हो गया है। बॉल्स हैं कम और रन ज्यादा। 5 balls and 9 runs needed. A few extras would help. Share more this cricket season with 15% extra.
From overs 34, 35 onwards, they've been very good for Sri Lanka. Last 4 overs produced 34. Lots of blue in the sky. Now, Nasir Hussain, tell me about this weather in your part of the world. This cold, damp this morning.
An absolute scorcher out there, Harsha. What are you on about? Sun's out. A little bit of rain in the air first up this morning. That's what you get in Leeds, a little bit of dampness in the morning. Had a look at the long-term forecast. Forecast for the final, the weekend, is excellent. A little bit more hit and miss this week. Some showers around, but there are reserve days for the semi-finals.
Why can't you just give us a day like this from the beginning?
It's all the English summer. You've been over here long enough, many a time.
You must yearn for your childhood. Nice hot Chennai. Yes, he went a little short because even though this was to Dhananjay De Silva, because he'd been hit on the front foot a couple of times. This was the Matthews hit, not quite in control, but well cleared. Nothing Bhuvneshwar could have done. Four catches, 4 dismissals, right up at the top with only 3 catches in his stumping. Well played. He's now in control. Matthews is a very dangerous player in this situation. Look what bright sunshine does to a ground. It just makes it look that much better. Matthews 81, Thirimana out for 53. That partnership was 124. Also got the very dangerous Isara Pereira to come. Right, how's he going to hold the last 10? He's going to finish with Jadeja and Kuldeep. So the spinners are done. 3 from Bhuvneshwar, 3 from Hardik Pandya. He's playing the shot well, actually. He's hitting it hard enough to clear the infield. They go for 4 too, so runs just keep coming. Matthews goes up to 85. 200 comes up after 40 overs. 200 for 5.
He has played that reverse sweep well. Doesn't try and keep it down at any stage at all. Up and over. And a shake of the head there at the end of that over from Virat Kohli. He's not overly impressed with the last 5-6 overs. Bowling, the fielding. And he looked a little bit sloppy.
Got to come back strongly. Yeah, Bhuvneshwar Kumar is really not had a great day today. This is an area he's normally good at. There's Ian Gould signalling the last power play. So Bumrah with his 7th, he's got 2 for 21. We've been talking about retirements, last World Cup game for Chris Gayle, last World Cup game for Lasith Malinga. This man's retiring, isn't he? He's been a good umpire over the years.
Yeah, very good umpire, very good rapport with the players. Gets on well with the players, very calm out there, doesn't lecture them. Very popular man, Arsenal fan. Good old Arsenal fan.
You had to slip that in.
Yeah. Good man, Ian Gould. Old school. Plays hard. An evening he'll sit down and chat cricket over a beer for hours on end. Loves the game. It's in his blood.
Just a single. Good man because he's an Arsenal supporter, or just
That
coincidence?
helps, yeah, that adds to it. Much suffering Arsenal fan.
Is it tough? They've got named a clock after Dickie Bird. He's of course from this part of the world. When they're all about the same vintage. Oh, he's come to watch as well. Him, Jeffrey Boycott, Michael Parkinson. Get the single, Dhananjay. Sri Lanka came back strongly in overs 31 to 40. They made 73 with Matthews leading the way. So it's 2 phases each. What a crucial phase we have coming up. Yes, it will be called wide. But what these two did in this phase, Angelo Matthews and Lairu Thirimana, is ensure that the batsmen to come, Thisara Pereira, even a bit of Isuru Dana, they can play in their style. That should have been taken. This was. It's really 4 overs of Bumrah against a well-set Angelo Matthews in these back 10. Best was 87. They always get runs in the power play. It's what happens thereafter that's been an issue with Sri Lanka right through this World Cup. Samosa. You come to a World Cup match involving India, even the cuisine, even the food sold around the ground. Nasir might have wanted a masala dosa. Just 5 of the over, 41 gone, 205 for 5.
मैच काफी इंटेंस हो गया है. बॉल्स हैं कम और रन ज्यादा. 5 balls and 9 runs needed. A few extras would help. Share more this cricket season with 15% extra.
Had a few smiles on the face of the Sri Lankan supporters. There weren't that many when they were 55 for 4. It was grim early on for them. Every time we go to Sri Lanka, of course, there's the steel bands that are playing everywhere. Always a lot of noise around when Sri Lanka are playing. Decently represented, yeah. I can see a few Sri Lankan flags. Now Hardik Pandya. His growth as a bowler has been one of the high points for India at this World Cup. The slowness of the surface of the ball, its grip has helped him. Now to Matthews. Almost a single sort of Ganguly is alongside us.
Thanks, Harsha. India playing two spinners this game, both Chahal and Jadeja coming back in this match, and they're two contrasting bowlers. Jadeja, you see on your screen, a lot quicker, almost 90 kilometers an hour, and Kuldeep 75.3 kilometers an hour, and that's why Jadeja has been a better bowler on this sort of a surface with a little bit of dryness and a little bit of grip. He becomes an even more dangerous bowler. Kuldeep bowled a lot fuller in this game and allowed the Sri Lankan batsmen to use their feet. And when it's a lot easier to use the feet against Kuldeep than Jadeja. That was a drop catch, and that's a wicket from Kuldeep. Caught Jadeja, bowled Kuldeep. So different bowlers, contrasting styles. Forces the batsman to play differently. You stay back a lot more on the crease with Jadeja because of his pace, and Kuldeep allows you the time to use to the feet and get to the pitch of the ball.
There's a little bit in the surface. Jadeja just becomes a different bowler. Wonder if he's done enough to hold a place for the semi-final though.
I found a little bit with Indian selection is that they're a little bit reactive. I saw that in the Test series over here last year. No Pujara first game, no Kuldeep. Then they turned up to Lords and a green top and cloudy skies and played Kuldeep at Lords. They were almost playing catch up from the game before, and that's what they've got to be careful going into that semi-final. Edgbaston, pick the best players for that game, that pitch. Don't look back and think, oh crikey, we could have done with that cricketer in the last game. See what's ahead of you in the 100 overs ahead, and also for the opposition. Don't confuse England, if they are playing England, with a side that terrible against spin. You know, they went after Kuldeep and Chahal. Pick the best side, the best combination for the opposition. Jadeja may be a good option for England, all-round cricketer, maybe.
Oh, Dhoni. Hardly ever see that from Dhoni, but it's just slipped underneath.
Matthews actually was gesticulating whether he wanted a wide or not. He was actually asking about the wide from round the wicket. Was it within those lines? Yeah, I think it was fine. Spun on Dhoni. The old long barrier has done for Dhoni.
Before a lot of you start to ask questions of Nasser and me, yes, we are making the assumption that Australia will beat South Africa. Form is any indication. There's Jadeja prowling. I promise you they would have considered a second had it been anybody else. He just eats up the ground when he's in that outfield.
Yeah, there's not many better in the outfield. David Warner moves across the outfield really well. Johnny Bairstow for England fields in the outfield, but he's a real athlete in the deep. Any position, throws like a bullet arm, great hands. Not a big unit, but he's a special talent in the field.
Seven of the over, 212 for 5.
Right, so this is the time Virat Kohli would have worked out his bowlers to bowl the 8. 8 overs left. He's got Bumrah bowling 3, which is ideal. Went 4-3-3, which is the way they want to use Bumrah. typical Angelo Matthews innings. Very calm, strike rate around 80 when he's about the score. But he has the ability in the last few overs to just up the ante.
Absolutely, and he's been held back by the loss of wickets of the other recognised batsmen around him. Dhananjay De Silva keeping him company. Thisara Pereira to come. So a little bit left in the Sri Lankan tank. But again, the quality of Matthews is without doubt. He has been excellent right throughout the years. A bit sketchy the start to him for this World Cup. But since that time, he's had a few good innings. You can see the confidence growing.
I was here at the net session yesterday. Sri Lanka had optional practice. There were just 3 or 4 players that turned up. Angelo Matthews was one of those.
Optional practice is sometimes a confusing term for players. Some of them feel that they have to make an appearance just because they want to be seen to be training. Optional, some coaches actually have gone down the line of specifically pointing at players and saying you and you and you and you don't come, please. And then the others can make up their own minds, because sometimes you can actually be overcooked coming into a game.
So let me guess, in regards with the Sri Lankan team that you would have been a part of. Well played. Just the 1 run. Bumrah as well has bowled the slow deliveries a lot in the last 2 matches, responding to the nature of the surface. So the fingers would be pointed at Kumar Sangakkara, Mahela Jayawardena, Lasith Malinga and Muthaiya Muralidharan.
In a way, I was quite keen on getting to training and hitting as many balls as possible. Mahela
like it's with golf these days.
True, but Mahela was a lot more relaxed. Maybe later on. That looks like son of Jayasuriya and his son Ranuk.
Sorry, I forgot son of Jayasuriya is another finger pointed at Sanak too.
Yes. Murali, it was impossible to take the ball off him. Ranuk is a very... And the teams themselves to have these athletes playing.
The umpire might just allow that because the ball sailed over the stumps in the end. So Bhuvaneshwar Kumar doing well in the death. That's the reason. India having a real good look at him.
It's been interesting watching Matthews and Dhananjay De Silva. They've all tried to be a little bit too cute. They haven't really been able to manufacture the power to try and hit down the ground or hit square. The long boundaries square, yes. They've all tried to be a little bit too fiddly and funky, trying to find these fine gaps. Of course, it's also the skill of the bowlers. But there we go. Stay in one place, watch the ball, and hit the ball hard. The outfields are really fast. The square is really long, almost to the boundary on either side with the practice pitches.
Now that's one of the shots that you can play, but this one is a slow delivery, but not really that slow. Went at 132 kilometers per hour, and the batsmen are slightly easier to hit. So this is one option where you can get a 4. I saw maybe it was Afghanistan, where he just sat back and pulled one of those loopy short balls for a 6. So you need a lot of power and strength to get those extremely slow deliveries over the side boundaries. Quite long here.
Yeah, smart bowling, of course, but at the same time, if you're a batsman, without a steady and static base, it's really hard to actually get your larger muscles to come through the ball, consolidate, solidify, and then allow your arms with the smaller muscles to really generate the bat speed required to get the distance. When you're on the move and your base, your head is all moving, it's really difficult to get power. It's easy to get deflections, but not power.
4 fielders on the ring on the onside. So Bhuvaneshwar Kumar was the one who made that change. So Dhoni just responding to that. Virat Kohli nowhere in the picture. He's quite happy focusing on taking catches in the deep. 250 comes up. 6 runs so far from this over.
If you watch some of the greatest power hitters in the world, and you have quite a few on display. If you take MS Dhoni, for instance, whenever he hits those big shots, either he's creating momentum by skipping down the track and getting all his body weight going through the ball, or he's very solid in the crease. Wide base, nice balance, low center of gravity, and he powers through the line of the ball. He's very, very rarely on the move when he hits those sixes.
He beat de Villiers as well. He makes all those moves that he makes well before the ball is delivered. And then, just as the ball is about to be released, he's somewhere outside off some with a strong foundation, waiting to play one of his 360-degree range shots. Okay, Sang, I've got to ask you now, slowly and steadily, Sri Lanka have got to 250 after being, 55 for 4. Seeing the slowness of the pitch, it will get slower when India bat on it. I'm going to ask you about the score now. 252 for 5.
Yeah, 252. I would have liked Sri Lanka to be closer to that 300 mark by the end of the 50 overs. Just goes to show that some of the top 4 batsmen really buckled down and really concentrated and focused on batting long and building partnerships. That would have been a lot easier. Probably the tempo of Matthews' innings would have also changed. He wouldn't have had to really consolidate and get Sri Lanka to a position of safety first before attacking. But even if Sri Lanka does get to that 270 run mark, as they might here, the real worry is, can Sri Lanka really bother the Indian batting lineup without a frontline spinner? Jeffrey van der Sey has been dropped. Jeevan Mendes, who was there as a bits and pieces player with his part-time leg spin and his batting, he's out of the side. Pace heavy, pace dominant. If there's not much movement in the second half, how is it that Sri Lanka is going to get those breakthroughs and then continue to get those breakthroughs throughout that middle order of India as well? Dhananjay De Silva has done a good job, but he is an off-spinning bowler. And talking about all-rounders, Saqib Al Hasan right at the top of the fantasy game for Cricket World Cup 2019 with 519 points. He's had an exceptional World Cup.
Unbelievable. Even in the last innings, he got a 60. There was a run machine. Taken. And the innings has come to an end. Angelo Matthews gets 100. Becomes the glue of the innings. And because of him, Sri Lanka passed 250, but finally holding out to the cover fielder.
Again, beautifully bowled. Might have missed the Yorker by a couple of inches, but still good enough not to allow Angelo Matthews to get the elevation. And that wonderful innings of Angelo Matthews, his last in this Men's World Cup for 2019, comes to an end. He can walk off quite proud. 113 that he's got has allowed Sri Lanka to be 253 for 6.
मैच काफी इंटेंस हो गया है. Balls हैं कम और runs ज़्यादा. 5 balls and 9 runs needed. A few extras would help. Share more this cricket season with 15% extra.
Every time I see Thisara Perera at the 50 overs level, I'm reminded of that final 2011 when he played an innings that could have been a game changer had Sri Lanka gone on to win that final. Didn't happen. Not too many would remember that innings now. It's just about the result eventually, because he was the one who just put that innings into overdrive. This is how Angelo Matthews has got out. That didn't really shake too much. So he timed it quite well, just to find the fielder.
Yeah, it's a length that doesn't allow him to get the elevation. A couple of feet shorter than that, he can get further under the ball and actually get it over extra cover. But you're right, Thisara Pereira, what a useful cricketer he is and could have been, especially in a World Cup like this. With his all-round ability is so important that the captain and the team understands how best to use him. A match winner's tag can actually be a burden if the expectations are way too high, even in a World Cup like this. Thisara Pereira, if he wins just 2 games on his own, that's all you need, and the rest he supports the other members of the team to try and win matches as a unit. Sometimes people expect players to do everything at all times, and unfortunately, when the expectations are not met, the player falls more and more under pressure. So important is to understand the individuals, their roles, how to use them, and that's one of the key responsibilities of the captain, the leadership group, and of course the coaching staff, to communicate that honestly and clearly and keep kind of creating an environment of excellence where each player has his niche, where he's challenged, but he also feels secure and confident to try and always do what the side requires of him.
One of the few Yorkers that he got wrong, and you can see the disappointment in Bumrah. Sets high standards, not so much about the runs scored, it was about the Yorker not being nailed to perfection. 257 for 6.
मैच काफी इंटेंस हो गया है. बॉल्स हैं कम और रन ज्यादा. 5 balls and 9 runs needed. A few extras would help. Share more this cricket season with 15% extra.
Magnificent numbers once again for Bumrah. 3 for 37 of his 10. Those 3 wickets include the captain, Karunaratne, Kusal Pereira and Angelo Matthews. So clearly, if India go on to win this game, certainly in contention to be the player of the match. Last over, the hands of Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. Good Yorker to begin with. Can't get Thisara Pereira on strike. Virat Kohli is walking with purpose into the circle. Just wonder whether that is to just have a quick word with Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, or yeah, he wants a change. He wants a change on the leg side. Yeah, I feel that he's had a couple of times in this spell. The leg side field, all the fielders on the boundary, nobody inside the circle. To take a single there. Oh dear. Poorly directed. Team management, the selectors will be watching Bhuvaneshwar Kumar's performance in the death very closely. Shami has been of some concern in the last 2 matches in the death. They want Bhuvaneshwar Kumar to be up to it. This can't be up to Bumrah to keep the runs down in the death. Not playing today, rested we are told. Rested and happy. MSK Prasad, the chairman of selectors there, those glasses. A couple of other selectors as well at the ground here in England. Oh, that's wide again. So 2 wides. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar going for the Yorker, not quite getting the direction. Little surprised they haven't bowled that slower short ball yet. You can see there are 2 fielders inside the circle on the leg side, 3rd man as well inside the circle. Has he timed it well enough? No, he hasn't. And that's a brilliant catch. Who does it? That man, Hardik Pandya. No timing at all, so he had to run in a long way. And in the end, inches from the ground. And only a very athletic man can pull off catches like this. Finally take the pace off. Much better option against Pereira on this pitch after 2 Yorkers that went awry. Yep. Sara Pereira has gone for 2. Sri Lanka 267.
मैच काफी इंटेंस हो गया है. बॉल्स हैं कम और रन ज्यादा. 5 balls and 9 runs needed. A few extras would help. Share more this cricket season with 15% extra.
Once again, 4 fielders on the boundary on the leg side, no one inside the circle. That's the loopy short ball. I call it the ball of the World Cup. Yeah, Hardik Pandya has had a great tournament with the bat, with the ball. He's always there, live wire in the field. Takes some good catches in the deep. And Virat Kohli also having all the good fielders in the right position. He himself was on the long on boundary for Pereira. Finally nails the Yorker. Rohit Sharma thought of it, but directed. Is never mind. See, looking at around 270 or just under for India to chase. Rohit Sharma has got 400. Come out again with a target in his mind. It's always going to be tough for somebody like Pereira who likes the ball coming on to him. Slightly different field. +7 for Hardik Pandya. Fine leg inside the circle. Leg cutter, slow delivery. Again, struggling to get power. I guess at this time you'll be seeing a lot of batsmen in the 14 that have gone through practicing a shot against the short, slow ball. It's a strong base and just trying to pull it. On the leg side is one option. You can see that being practiced in the net session. Again goes for the Yorker. Couple of runs. We come to the end of the 50 overs. 264 for 7 is the Sri Lankan score after they won the toss and elected to bat. So pretty much a clinical performance from India. So pretty professional performance with the ball. Maybe Virat Kohli would have expected a little more from his 2 spinners on a pitch that was turning from ball number 1. Although there was a drop catch of Jadeja that we've got to take into account. A couple of catches dropped, so that will be another thing that will be discussed. But Bumrah once again the star, 3 for 37. Bhuvneshwar Kumar 73 run off his 10. So they're looking for him as the dead bowler. He's not really given them the confidence they would have liked. So India's first game here in Headingley Leeds versus Sri Lanka. This is how it's panned out. 264. Sri Lanka won the toss lost a few wickets. They were 4 down for 55 before the calm heads of Thirimana and Angelo Matthews with that big partnership got them going. And in the end, you've got to say that was an excellent recovery from Sri Lanka. 264 after being 55 for 4 on a slow pitch. It's a stellar record. Just the 5 bowlers used, as has been the style for Virat Kohli. He hasn't ventured too much into the part-time bowlers area. He doesn't have too many options as well. Kedar Jadhav not playing, Dinesh Karthik in the side, so that option is lost. Bhuvneshwar Kumar, the most expensive, and the guys the least expensive is also the highest wicket taker, and that had to be Bumrah. So the phases, when you look at it, India